Okay, folks, welcome back to the channel. Hey, we're out in the shop tonight. We're doing a little prepping for crappie fishing tournament, and well, as you can see here, we've already got a few things that I would highly recommend having in the boat. This is one of them: a good quality dip net, forceps, scissors, and most importantly, if you plan on catching them, one of these. This is a counter, fish counter. If you ain't using this, I mean, if you're by yourself, that's one thing. But if you got three people in the boat, sometimes it can get hard to keep track how many fish you got. So those counters are a pretty cool thing to have. Uh, but we're going to talk about some rods that we got. And if you follow the channel, you'll know that we've already started putting some videos out on this subject. But I'm going to show you one that I just completed, and it's a double minnow rig, basically. Uh, some people might call it a drop shot rig. That might be the proper terminology for it. I don't know, but basically, what I've got, if you watch the previous video, so basically, guys, we've got a 10-foot rod with 8-pound test high vis. It's a fiberglass rod, 10 feet long. And we've got us a rubber bobber stopper on our main line with a slip cork. As you can see, and we've got a snap swivel, barrel swivel with a snap on it, and that's going down about 18 to 24 inches to a thin golden wire Aberdeen hook. I believe that's a number 2. It's either a number 2 or a number 4 crappie hook. And then when about another 18 to 24 inches down, got the same thing. And that's the light wire. You don't have to, they're good and sharp, and they hook the crappies. And then this is like a 1/8 of an ounce drop shot weight. And I've got that at the end in case I'm around some brush. But on this line that our hooks are tied to, we went with 4-pound test just because, to be honest with you, I didn't have any 6, and I didn't feel like spending the money on 6, so I went with 4. And with my main line just being 8-pound test, if I had 10 or 12, I'd definitely go with a heavier pound test leader or whatever. But the main thing is I'm not going to lose that slip cork. I don't mind to lose a few hooks, but they may straighten out. That 4-pound test is fairly strong. There's always a chance you could bend them out a little bit and they could break loose, and come loose. But for the most part, I'm not planning on getting this hung up much. But if I do, oh well, I'll stop throwing it and come up with something different. But we're gonna talk about one other rig, which is kind of the same principle. Like I said, we're going to talk about something similar. So this is a 12-foot rod, and it's pretty sure it's fiberglass rod as well. And it's got about the same size reel on it. It's a spinning reel. But I'm not casting these. I'm strictly using these for vertical jigging. So I have currently got some 17-pound test high vis monofilament line, or not mono, but let's see. It is monofilament. So this is Suffix Precision Performance Monofilament High Vis Yellow. I was wrong. That's 12. I believe that's 12-pound test. I said 17, but that's 12. But I've got some braid over top of it just because I saved it. But that's what it is right there. So what we're going to do on this 12-foot rod, that 12-pound test high vis, we're going to tie on this is a B&M minnow rig, and the sinkers on there are 3/8 of an ounce, and the line in there I believe is probably hopefully no bigger than 10-pound test, but it looks like it might be 8 or 10. But I know this is a little bit beefier line, so I feel confident in tying one of these on there as opposed to that lighter line. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And this 12-foot rod, like I say, we're not casting it. I would not recommend trying to cast anything longer than a 10-footer. That can be awkward enough. So, but once you get comfortable with fishing with a 10-foot rod, it's really no big deal. But the 12-footer, in my opinion, pretty awkward. Caked with mud. I don't know if it's from a mud dauber. I've never really fished with these much. I've tried one time, and it was an experience. We'll put it that way. I'm not sure if this is a glass rod or if it's a composite rod. I guess that's kind of like a graphite rod, sort of, maybe. Let's see. Oh. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Got our 12-footer put together. Now we're going to tie on one of these rigs here, these double minnow rigs. Like I say, let me take this, see if I can get this sticker off here. It's going to be too much of a pain in the butt, but like I say, this is a double minnow rig made by B&M, and it's I think Ronnie caps and something, Coleman, caps and Coleman, which was like two really good crappie fishermen. You've never heard of them. But this is a product that they sold for many years. And we're getting ready to tie one on just for the heck of it. Oh, wow. That's cool. So there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in here. I did not realize that. And I think this other one I got is same size. Yeah. That is sweet. All right. It's got a 3-way swivel on the end of it there. And like I say, this is not something I'm going to be casting. This is honestly just hold it straight over the boat and vertical jig around standing timber, maybe, if it's not too woolly. You got to, I mean, it might be more of an open water technique, but if you're not getting hung up, you're not crappie fishing. I mean, that's just the way it is. But if you can stay on the outside edge of the brush, obviously that is what you need to do. So I think this really can't get no simpler. It's a matter of just tying it on to your main line, which I have right here. High vis green, 12-pound test to this. And I believe I'm just going to leave that on there. I wanted to take it apart to show y'all, but it's basically the same exact thing as that other rod that I showed y'all. It might be just a little bit different, but basically the same idea. You've got a hook toward the bottom about 18 inches away from that sinker. The sinker is the bottom piece, and the next thing up from the sinker is a hook, and then you go up another 18 to 24 inches, and you tie you another hook, drop shot. Some people call that a drop shot rig. Some people just call it tying on a hook on your main line with a Palomar knot, because you're tying the Palomar knot on there, which is what I'm doing right here. Very basic knot. My sinuses have been kicking my tail today. Like snot running down your nose when you're trying to make a YouTube video. But basically, what I just showed you on that other rod, you've got it right there ready to go. And when it comes time to fish, just unwrap it and you're ready. But yeah, that's it, guys. You're going to end up with this setup right here, the one I showed you. But the other one, this one right here, is on a slip cork rig. I can cast this because I've got that's like a 3/8 ounce sinker. This one's only a 1/8, and this is the 10-foot rod, not the 12. I don't recommend trying to cast a 12-footer. I guess it can be done if you want to, but we've got both of our hooks already undone. Pre-rigged and ready to go, just like the one we just tied on. And as you can see, there's our slip cork rig. Hook number 1, hook number 2, and our drop shot weight. That is what you get when you tie on one of these. It's just wrapped up and ready to go. But this is a much heavier sinker. It's 3 times the weight. And so it's going to be for vertical jigging. And that extra 2 feet on the rod length, that is going to allow us to be more efficient as we're vertical jigging. We can pick that bait up and drop it back down. in a whole lot more spots on both sides of standing timber and just anything else. Any other kind of structure you're fishing. For vertical jigging, in my opinion, if it's plausible, I guess I think it's the most efficient way to do it. And there's actually 16-foot rods out there, and your experienced crappie jig, umbrella rig fishermen, like the ones who spider rig out on the front of the boat, they're going to tell you that 16-foot rod is for ultra clear water. But in stained water, the 10 to 12 footers are fine. I think it's the clear water with the boat, you know, as it gets closer, it has a tendency to scare the fish, so you need the longer rod. But anyway, guys, hey, that's just one setup that we're going to be using for this tournament. So, excuse me. If you haven't already done so, like and follow and share, and most importantly, subscribe. But we're going to be trying to get y'all some video footage this Saturday of the crappie tournament. It's going to be a good time. We've got most of our rods rigged up. Honestly, we got the two I just showed you. Of course, that one's ready to go. Yeah, we've pretty much got everything except this one right here rigged up. I don't know if I showed you all these other two, but we're going to talk about those real quick. Actually, we may save that for another video, or I guess we could do like a prequel to it, or, well, really there's nothing to say other than this right here is a teeny tiny lipless crankbait, and it is in the right color. Pink and green, crappie love it. And it's just I got it on a little Daiwa. I think it's like a LT2000 on an old Shakespeare rod that I've had for years. And it's on that 8-pound test high vis tied with a loop knot. That's going to be my main search bait or search rod. And then this other one, this one right here, that one don't even have a jig, like a lead head on it. It's weightless. That's actually a ocean bait that come off a what's it called? Sabiki rig. And we've got a teeny tiny old school bobber on there. So, if I do anything, I'll have to maybe attach a light BB size, like the smallest size split shot you can put on there to get that extremely low rate of fall to catch those bed fish if they're up on the bank shallow. That'll be my go-to when they're nesting, spawning in like 1 to 4 feet of water. That's going to be my go-to. But this other one's going to be my search rod. I could tie on one of these. Either this is a little bit. That's like a 1/16 of an ounce hair jig. I like those with the crappie nibbles and wax worms. I like the black and the green. I need to find some pink ones. Of course, I've got one pink one But then I got some of these other ones that are a much, much lighter, smaller hair jig. They're like 1/64 of an ounce. And that's what I switched to on that other rod if they're up shallow on the beds in about a foot to 4 foot of water. But I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. We're going to find out. I need to do some scouting. Need to go out there and see what's going on that lake with my own eyes. But yeah, guys, like I say, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It'd help me out a bunch, and follow me. It would definitely help me out a bunch. So until the next one, y'all have a good one.